Hello, everyone, and welcome to Campus Hustle, the podcast where we interview media freelancers here on campus at Point Park University. Today, I am joined by the one, the only, Kyle Archer.
We dab it out.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch, sorry, I did that.
I guess I'll do it too.
Yep, you kind of...
It's like it's 2016 again, or whenever that was.
Yeah, you know, we don't have to date it, but...
Yeah,
hey, I'm put on this earth to make the dab come back, so...
Okay, well, good luck. You
Thanks.
know what I mean? So thank you so much for being on here and joining me.
Thanks for reaching out and having me do this. I'm excited.
Of course, you're my first guest. So yeah, don't get too excited. Don't get too excited.
You already did. I popped so many balloons before walking in here.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So I guess that to start out, you know, we'll kind of ease into things, give you a pretty general question. You're a pretty multifaceted guy. Whenever it comes to media, you've been in front of the camera, behind the camera, beside the camera, on top, below, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Inside of it one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a huge camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about what you're working on right now? What are some of your current projects?
Right, yeah, some of my current projects that I have going on, it's more kind of school-centric stuff right now, just because I'm, finishing up grad school right now, 8 weeks left, and this is where, oh, man, pushing through. But this is kind of where all of my capstone stuff and everything that I've been working on the past is kind of all coming to fruition. So one of the biggest projects that I am about halfway through the pre-production process of is my senior capstone, which is a rap music video for a local gym.
Oh.
I'm so excited for it. I have the beat made. I'm tweaking it a little bit. I made two different beats, and I'm kind of deciding between one and the other right now. But I have the outline for the storyboard for the lyrics, so I need to write the lyrics right now and then move on from there.
What's it about?
Basically, it's about a person waking up and being so excited to start their day by going to this gym. It's like an advertising campaign for a gym in rap music video form.
Okay.
That's the way that I got away with doing a rap entertainment music video through the school.
Is it for a real gym?
Huh? Yes. Yeah. No, it's a real local gym.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fitness 19. You ever heard of it?
I haven't. Where is it?
There's 3 locations. One of them is in West Mifflin. One of them is near Baldwin, and I do not know where the third one is, but I know there's a third one out there somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one project that I'm working on right now. I'm so stoked about it. I have 2 background dancers. So there's gonna be a mini dance break scene in this gym.
Exciting.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, and I'm pumped that Point Park said yes to that. Obviously working on late night snooze. I mean, that's just like comedy outlet that I like to do.
Yeah. Hey, tell us. I know about late night snooze. Tell the camera a little bit about what is late night snooze.
Late night snooze is Point Park's satirical news source.
Yeah, snooze.
Yeah, snooze. It's not like SNOOZE, but that's the play on the word.
Yeah.
S'_NEWS for satirical news.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense if you really think about it, or don't think about it at all. It'll make sense either way. What that is, it's kind of just a show where any idea of goofiness you have, we just see, hey, let's make it happen, and then we do it. And sometimes it really works, and sometimes it doesn't. But hey, we have fun on and off the set. So I think for me, the reason why I started it is to help develop personalities behind the camera, because whenever you first start off on a camera, you're shaking. Like it's terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think having just a simple outlet to be goofy can help bring that out in more serious, media elements behind the camera.
Yeah, I know that whenever I was a freshman, I was so worried I was going to screw everything up, because a lot of the shows that we have on UView, which is where you could watch Late Night Snooze, UView Television, a lot of the shows are very newsy news, hard news. Some of them go live, and that's so scary. So having a show like that is awesome.
Yeah, and it's nothing against any other shows. It's just me personally. I look at Newsnight, and I look at just any of the other shows, and I'm like, that's so far from what I want to do. Just because I know my brain is just a cuckoo,
definitely.
Yeah, just a goofball in a nutshell. So that's why I made it. I needed to have that outlet for me to put that stuff into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that the other UView people, they really appreciate having a show like that.
Yeah,
you know, because it can kind of take the fun away from it being a club whenever you're just doing serious stuff.
Yeah. But that's good though. Yeah. And every show is so unique and so different. And everybody has fun with it. And it's always a good time.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So aside from the music video and snooze, what else, other stuff you got going on?
As of right now, not currently. I'm kind of drowning in schoolwork right now, finishing everything up. But for the future, I'm looking at kind of post-grad stuff right now.
Yeah.
I have a podcast that I'm going to restart sooner than later. That's called Enough for Conversation. It's like 20 to 30-minute conversations with one person, could be two people if you really want, about one single word. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I give them the word the day of the podcast. So there's not like too much research in it. There's enough just to like, go off the top of the head.
Yeah.
But like one of the first words that I ever did was butter. And we just talked about butter for 30 minutes.
That's exciting.
Right. One of my favorite ones that I did was lamp. And you would not believe the conversations that you can have for 30 minutes about lamps.
Was Pixar brought up?
Pixar was not. Oh, yes, Pixar was brought up, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the lamp.
No, the lamp. It's really embarrassing because my guest that I had on, shout out Zach Cannon, he mistaked that for Disney, and we made a bit out of it eventually, but it was really embarrassing.
Technically, Pixar's owned by Disney now.
Yeah, but it wasn't before. So
Shoot.
I'm not going to lie, I actually had no idea that Disney owns Pixar now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if you go to like Disney World or whatever, they have like a Toy Story land. That's how I knew.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah,
look at that. We love monopolies.
We do not stop monopolies.
We love
You're
monopolies.
The good old US of A.
Yeah. So and then after that too, I'm looking to start up my personal late night show, which you were a guest on.
Oh, yes.
Almost Too Late show.
Yes.
Throw back to that episode.
Yeah, you should not watch that.
No. It's weird.
No, it's great. It's
No,
great. You should watch it.
it was super
just
fun.
Not mine. You can watch the other ones.
I don't know, the note bit. I'd stand by that note bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a very fun experience.
Yep.
Yeah, everything you do is honestly very upbeat and very fun and very lively.
Awesome.
But you do a lot. So I guess that my next question for you is, do you ever feel really overwhelmed by having so many different kinds of things going on and so many different roles?
No, I am an unstoppable force of content.
Oh, okay.
I feel so overwhelmed all the time. But I would rather have that feeling of overwhelmed. What is going on? Why can't I have my ducks in a row? Versus what am I doing just with my life, or what am I doing with the next week? Like having nothing to do.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, there's definitely ups and downs to it. Like the burnout is rough whenever you go through burnout. But I really wouldn't have it any other way. Overall, yeah, I definitely feel overwhelmed. If we're just looking at the things that I'm balancing right now, we have my personal grad school assignments, my grad assistantship assignments, the icebreakers for the Penguins, whenever there's home games there. I just picked up a new gig with the Riverhounds for their on-field MC that's starting this month. I serve every once in a while over at Condados to pull money in on the side. Try my best to have a social life, which is non-existent. And then all the other side projects that we just talked about. So there's literally 8 to 10 things that I'm just trying to balance all at once. And yeah, it definitely gets overwhelming.
So whenever you do feel overwhelmed, or whenever it feels too much to balance, or whenever you get burnout, how do you usually deal with that or cope with that?
You ever see the musical Rent?
Next week when it comes to Point Park, I will be seeing it, but I haven't.
Well, once you do, you will see a lot of just massive breakout moshes. Music, song, and dance. That's really what I strive for to do whenever I get burnout. Is just sing a beautiful song and hope somebody joins in, and then it feels all better. It never does.
Nice. That's sweet.
No, what I actually do, it depends. It depends on the season, if it's outside, or not if it's outside, if it's nice outside. Honestly, I'll meditate. I'll meditate if I'm really truly feeling overwhelmed. Just kind of sit in my room, do some breathing exercises for 15, 20 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta go. But that helps ease the mind. Sometimes I used to just kind of play video games. Now I can't because my brain is just you could be doing 100 different, more productive things.
That's me too.
It's the worst.
I loved binge watching TV.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing to do. But now it's every time I watch an episode of a TV show, my mind's you should check your email twice.
Exactly. And I'm no, I'm going to sit here for 30 minutes to 4 hours.
Yeah, depending.
Yeah. If it's nice out though, I'll just grab like a basketball, throw on some headphones, and find like a court outside to just like put up some shots, get a little exercise, get some fresh air. Yeah. Hit the swish, if you will.
Yeah. Do they say that?
They do say that on the streets.
Oh,
yeah. It's pretty
what
intense.
Streets? In the cul-de-sac?
All the streets, not in the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Some say swish, swish, bish, if you're quoting Katy Perry.
Oh.
But
okay.
yeah, I definitely do a couple things to kind of get rid of the burnout. But just before spring break, I hit a bad burnout day, and I still had like 3 days of just back-to-back nonstop stuff, and I couldn't really do anything. I just had to continue to power through it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I do.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you said that you MC, you do a lot of media work that involves having your personality, having very, very bright, very fun, very charismatic sort of persona. What would you say, first of all, how would you describe your personal brand? The Kyle Archer personal brand.
Okay. So I definitely live in two worlds of ego. One of them is my comedy mind. And if you ask me what the Kyle Archer comedy brand is, if I can successfully waste your time, but you still had a good time, that's what I'm going for.
Awesome.
If you could watch something of mine for 5 to 10 minutes, and at the end of it, you're like, why did I watch that? But you still think about it, I have successfully done my job.
Fantastic.
Like, that's really what I strive for with comedy. Because I think that's just hilarious. But in the other side of it, like my emceeing performance mode ego, I would say just very like electric and eccentric. I like to get other people involved in that. So like, let's say I am hosting a game or something like that, like a live sporting event or anything like that. I like to be that middle person between the sporting event and the crowd. So I like to get them, instead of watching the game, feel like they're actually involved in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. How do you do that? Like, it just comes to you?
Yeah, it's like, I don't really know. That's just kind of something that I've always had.
That's awesome.
It definitely started in high school. I used to do like the morning announcements, used to host like the assemblies and stuff like that. I used to do like karaoke whenever I was like 8 years old.
Aww.
So I started at a very young age learning how to basically work a crowd. And then over time, it just kind of developed. Now there's just like an on or off switch that I can just click whenever you give me a microphone, and then boom. I don't know. I think it's breaking like that third wall between you and the crowd. Once you break that wall and they feel like they're being talked to personally, even though you're just looking at them and being like, let's get loud. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to get loud. And they kind of feel like they become part of the event too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you think that like your sort of, persona, the way that you kind of carry that spark, do you think that's like contributed a lot to your media success?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I know for a fact I am a gaslighter, which is another thing that I find to be so fun.
Ladies, look out.
Yeah, watch out. I don't know what that was, but it felt right in the moment.
Yeah.
We'll just edit that out, or put it at the beginning.
I'm not gonna edit it out.
Put it at the beginning then.
It's gonna go right here in the middle.
It's like the teaser for the episode. What was the question?
Do you think that your personas help carry you in your media career?
Yeah, absolutely. 1,000% yes. And I think that that's something where media is kind of shifting towards right now. Even just look at the past 5 years with podcasts. 10 years ago with podcasts, people were like, okay, only like weird people listen to podcasts. I'm listening to music and you're listening to people talking. Nerd. That type of thing.
Yeah.
But then there was this giant boom of the podcast. And that's because people like people with personality.
Absolutely.
And that's really what it is. I think that's happening in a lot of like even hard news media outlets. People are looking for more people with their own personality spark to it instead of your typical suave toupee look,
Absolutely.
and just hard delivery. and like perfection delivery. There's this one person that I've been following for a little bit. She used to be the in-arena host for the Milwaukee Bucks. Her name's Corey, but she also does the news, and she has an insane just like shoe collection, like sneaker collection. She's a big sneakerhead, but she also, like I said, she also does the news and like the weather. She has her own segments for some Milwaukee station, and she always just has like the freshest kicks on instead of like your typical like work flats or work heels that normal people wear.
Yeah.
She just comes out in like jeans and sneakers and does like the weather. And I think that is where personality is found in media, is if you have the confidence to hold your own personality to your own brand and you can represent that while still delivering what it is you need to deliver, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah. Do you think that it makes people seem more trustworthy?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think it does. I really do. I think most people, and this is me optimistically speaking about this, but I think most people have a good sense of whenever somebody's being fake.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, I feel
Yeah.
like, especially the younger sort of generation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that they have a keen eye to that. So whenever you could see somebody really bringing out their true authentic self in whatever performance or whatever outlet that they are doing, they become more trustworthy in that, unless they're really good at hiding their emotions under the rug. But I think so. I definitely do. Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, man.
I know this is interview me, but what do you think? I'm curious.
You know, I think that we're definitely taking a shift in general media towards personability and like your personal brand, your brand identity or whatever. I think that that is really taking the forefront and capturing people's attention, because I feel like what you said, people are tired of the mundane, people are tired of the button-up suit, whatever. But I also think that people want to see things that they can relate to, and people are really attracted to flaws.
Yeah.
I think that people are really attracted to someone who, you know, isn't this perfect idea of a news anchor or a perfect idea of a weather person or whatever, even like a commentator or like a YouTuber or what have you. You know what I mean? People are looking for people that they could put, you know, put their own shoes, put their shoes, shoes they're going into.
They have to tie their own shoes.
Yes, they have to know how to tie their shoes.
Yes, that's what, that's the phrase.
But you know what I mean. And I think that works for the better. I think that also, though, sometimes it can kind of work for the negative. Like, it makes me think about sometimes, like maybe certain politicians, you know, or people who are in, you know, certain positions of power. They might not be saying anything that means anything, and they might not really know what they're doing, but like people are like, I like their vibe.
Yeah.
I think they're cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think they're interesting.
I mean, especially at the higher level politicians. I obviously don't know if this is true. This is just me thinking that I understand what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like at the higher level of politicians, it's all scripted. Like somebody else is writing their speeches, right?
Yeah.
So if they have that adaptive personality, they're getting boosted.
Yeah, they can chameleon.
Right,
into,
exactly.
Like, whatever it is, I guess they need to be, which is great for an actor. Not so great for someone
No, not a great. Yeah. I mean, fantastic if you're trying to pull the numbers as a politician, but if you're trying for the greater good, that is not ideal for society.
But I think it is kind of refreshing to see, especially in particularly news media, you know, the way that people are kind of more open to different kinds of personalities and styles. I mean, I remember whenever I was a freshman here, I was a broadcast news major as opposed to a multimedia major. I thought I wanted to be a news anchor. I didn't. I did not want to be a news anchor. And one of the first things they told us was like, oh yes, you have to make sure that you dress this way. You have to make sure you don't get tattoos. You don't get piercings. You have to make sure that your hair
and
looks
how
a certain
much
way.
Does that just suck to hear?
It's terrible.
It's soul sucking.
It's horrible.
And that's the thing. I think everybody in this newer generation that's boosting up into the workforce thinks exactly like that.
Yeah.
Things are changing, which shines the personality. But there's a comment that you said that there was a point I wanted to make there too. It's just about kind of people watching other people go through the mundane of their jobs and their career and their life and everything like that. And to connect that back with kind of my personality too, I think that's really why I, even if I'm having a bad day, I will still always tell people that I'm doing fabulous immediately. Because I think there's just like a lot of bad out there in the world that I would rather be somebody's like little like the night light throughout their day.
That's nice.
Yeah, to just give them that little boost of serotonin.
Not to mention, I've seen before. I don't know how accurate this is. It's one of those like online statistics. Like who knows if it's true? But I've seen that the way that you speak about yourself is the way that people perceive you.
Yeah.
So let's say you're like butt ugly and you walk around all day and you're like, I look great today. I look so attractive today.
Yeah.
People are going to find you more attractive because that's the way that you hold yourself. But you could be the most beautiful person in the world and you could say, I look so ugly. I look so horrible today. And people are going to go, maybe you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like having that positive kind of mindset and attitude about, your own life and the things that you're doing, even if you do feel a little bit down in the dumps.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's going to make people think more highly of you and it's going to make you think more highly of yourself.
And that's what I'm here for, is to make other people think better of me.
Oh yeah. We're in media.
Yeah, we're in
all.
media.
Hey.
Like us. Yeah, that was just the point that I wanted to make on that.
Awesome. I guess so. My next question for you would be, if you were to go back and you were gonna like start your whole, I guess, media journey all over again, is there anything you would do different, do you think? Is there anything maybe?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
It is a hard question. It is, because you would want to do things. I feel like there's always something in there that you would always want to change or tweak up in some way, shape, or form. But I'm one of those people that's like, everything happens for a reason.
I mean,
but like,
kind of does.
Kind of does, though. It kind of does. So looking back at my media career and the things that I have done, not really. I don't think that there's a single thing that I could ever think about going back to change or do something differently. It's like whenever I started my late night show over the pandemic, I was in my attic. Did I ever tell you this at all?
No.
No? Oh, it's a fun story for me.
Okay.
So, I was living in a house in Mount Oliver it was 3 other guys at the time. And this, like I said, this was over 2020 to 2021. And 3, or was it 4? 4 of our friends needed another place to stay, but it was all at different times.
Yeah.
So I brought my friend, we split the attic. Another friend came in, he took like the dining room. Another came in, he took the living room. Another one came in, he took the basement. So at the end of it, there was 8 people living in this house. All just not doing a single thing. And I was like, you know what? Let's start something, guys. So I developed the late night show. And really just kind of hedge funded everything, started everything. But everybody who was living in that house graduated with a cinema degree.
Oh,
in different elements of media too. Like one was a screenwriter, one did lighting, one did video, one was in directing, one did audio. It was like the perfect mix for everything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So basically we just kind of like rearranged the attic into like a studio, put up some like green screen. We went to Dollar General and those big cardboard cutouts of green paper.
Yeah.
We bought like 15 of those and just lined up an entire wall, and it worked.
That's so cool.
Right.
Boredom. It really sparks creativity.
No, exactly. But we did a 16-week run of 8 episodes and couldn't have asked it any other way. And whenever I go back and watch those episodes, they're awful. They're just terrible. But like,
oh, I bet they're great.
No, they definitely hold a special place in my heart, but there's a lot of cringe in there. But it's also just like, man, we are having so much fun. But like, do I think that those were bad? Yeah, absolutely. Would I ever change that? No, because you always have to start somewhere. So,
yeah. Speaking of starting somewhere, I think that
segues.
Yeah, segues. Look at that.
The perfect ending to the new beginning.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah.
that's going in there.
Yeah. Pull the quote.
I will.
Off the record. You can't say it now. Sorry.
Sorry. So, speaking of beginnings, what have you? What advice would you give to people who are just kind of starting their media career? Maybe, they have an idea of a show they want to start, or maybe they, aren't exactly sure what facet of media that they want to get involved in. What advice would you give them?
Don't wait for it. Do it.
Yeah?
100%. Even if you have the loosest plan together, but you're like, I think I have an idea here, but it's not fully developed, do it. Because you put so much pressure on yourself of making it perfect. And the first, we'll say episodically, of the first episode, is never perfect. No matter how much time or planning you do, it will never be perfect. But you will see the things that you didn't see in the pre-planning that you need to change or develop. So if you make, let's just say, like a 10 episode thing, by the time you get to that 5th episode, you're going to look back at the first episode and it's going to be pretty different from what it was.
Yeah.
But by the time you get to that 5th episode, you're going to have an exact idea of what you're doing, what it is, and why you're doing it. And then you could take it in the next step. That's a big key advice point from moi. Another one is to just be a self-starter. Especially with media, you can't sit around and just keep applying to places because you have like a graduate degree or you have a year of experience in this. You have to have that sense of doing it yourself and getting it done because that's what you want to do.
And the good thing nowadays is that it's easier literally than ever before to do that.
Absolutely.
You know, like our phones record things that are high quality enough that people will actually sit and watch it.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's iMovie out there too. I mean, it's not the best editing software, but like, hey, it will get the job done.
Yeah, it'll clip things together.
Yep, and that's really all you need. Even
really.
if, like the smallest little thing, just be a self-starter and don't second guess it, just do it and develop it as it goes on. As scary as it is, because it is scary. Yeah. It's scary to start something.
Absolutely. But hey, you know, don't be afraid forever.
No, can't be afraid forever.
Hold you back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know, that's actually all I have for you today, Kyle.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. You know, speaking of imperfect first episodes, I'd say you proved yourself wrong.
Oh my garshel dark.
Yeah. You know, I'd say
I finished off with a weird word.
Was that Simlish?
It was like Spanish Simlish.
Oh.
Yeah. I was doing so good.
Hey, you know what? Imperfect first episode.
Hey,
right?
First one is the worst one. In
taking your own advice.
The best way. Yeah,
right?
See?
Yeah.
Lessons are to be learned. Yeah. How did you think this went? I know you just said imperfect. Did you have a good time?
I had an amazing time.
Fantastic.
You know, I had my little fears too. You know, I haven't hosted something except for Daybreak.
Right.
You know, so this is the first time I've, you know, had a guest on anything. So thank you so much for joining me.
Hey, I'm glad to be your first guest.
And this was Campus Hustle. I hope that you heed some advice from my buddy Kyle here. You can
Heed for the needs.
Heed for the, yes.
Heed for the needs to the deeds.
Would you like to plug your stuff? Yeah, I know that people do that on podcasts.
Yeah. Immediately, I'm like, what am I plugging?
Late Night Snooze.
Late Night Snooze. You can watch that. Enough for conversation. Go watch that. It will be starting back in May, sometime in there. Go out to any Riverhound or Thunderbird games. I'll be there hosting. Go check it out. It's a super fun time. And that's another thing that I'm promoting here too. Make sure you watch my rap music video at the end of April. I'm so excited to get that done. It's going to be so freaking fantastic.
I know. I'm going to have to get a gym membership after that. You know what I mean?
It's going to be inspiring.
Yeah, you think?
Inspiring.
Yeah, I got to get that summer bod. Is that what they say?
Oh, yeah. You're going to want a winter bod after watching that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's getting freaky up in there. It's going to get real.
That's some pretty big promises made here.
Oh, yeah. But don't worry. It will be delivered.
Fantastic.
Yep. Stay beautiful out there.
Thank you. Take care and stay tuned because there's going to be more.
Ooh.
Bye.